What's going on? How are you all? How you doing? I think it's working. I think I finally figured out a way to give you the right link, right? I'm here live. Dr. Dave, the RV dummy. What is going on? Got a good show for you today. Hey, there's Roads of Life here. Robert, Roads of Life. We got Nugget Brain. We got Nagalu Hatsumi. Konnichiwa, Nagalu. And I think we have some other people that came signed on earlier too. Like Brandon said he was here. Brandon Corley said he was here. A bunch of people getting in early, which is really good. It's always good to be in the front of the classroom. We used to call those back in school. We used to call those people the gunners, the people that came in early and grabbed the front row seat. They were the gunners. So I appreciate having at least 11 gunners right here with me right now. It might grow a little bit, but you are right now. You 11 people are the most important people in my life right now. Now, I want to make sure you can all hear me. I think you can because I'm getting some response. Go ahead and take a second right now. By the way, it does work. When I ask you to give me a like, if I ask you to give me like a thumbs up, it does work. Steve Outdoor Nomad is here. What is going on? Give me a like, thumbs up if you can, just before you do anything else. I got some good stuff. I've got some notes I wrote down. Nettie Holmes is here. What's going on, Nettie? Nettie, I got your email. I can't remember if I responded or not, but I really appreciate you keeping me in the loop with what you're doing as far as your vehicle. So thanks so much. Benson Speed Shop, how are you doing? What's going on? Your Nugget Brain was the first to like. Good going. I really appreciate all you guys so much. Now, one thing I want to do right off the bat, I want to apologize. I owe you. RV Butterfly is here. Yay! I want to apologize because my schedule is erratic. Erratic. My schedule has been erratic. And although I try my best to do the Sunday evening live stream, because I want to get into a pattern where you all know exactly when it's going to come on. Sometimes, hey, Raymond Massey, how you doing there? Appreciate you being here. Sometimes my schedule just changes, and sometimes it can change quickly. And that's why I started my VIP list, because the VIPs, I try to get the word out to everybody, but the word is slow. Somebody asked me if I could send an email out. No, I can't send an email because email is slow, and most people don't check their email like in real time. So they'll get it, but they'll get it like maybe hours later. So I really don't want to do email, because if I do that, also I have to disturb my entire list just for a few. The best way to do this, and many of you that I see here are already on my VIP list, but the best way to do this is send me a text to this number, 801-893-3810, and just put VIP in there somewhere. Just send me a text to that number. Once you do that, you are automatically on my VIP list. I normally don't send a response back because it's just the system is not really set up to do that. But if you send me your number to this number, or if you just send a message to this number with VIP, I'm going to get it. I will get it, and I'll put you on the VIP list. I promise you. Now, I will never abuse your number. I will never sell it. I will never spam you in any way. And those of you that are on my VIP list now, you can attest to that. You can feel free to comment right now. Dr. Dave never spams me. Dr. Dave never abuses my number. So feel free, feel very comfortable giving me your number for my VIP list. And as I said, I give you my word, I never abuse anything. But my schedule does change a lot. So I'll try to do Sunday evenings as much as I can, but it doesn't always work. What is Nagalu saying? You're getting into my wife's area now, talking about erotic life. Oh, good for you, Nagalu. Very, very good. Sugoi. Yep, great getting notifications. No spam. Thanks, Nugget. But I give you my word, because if I mess this up, if I messed up your trust in me, if I started spamming you with all kinds of weird stuff to your cell phones, you guys would all you would block me, you would all quit, and I wouldn't have a list. So I don't do that. I don't do that. So I want to share something. Let's see. By the way, real quickly, also I've got that little page going on Facebook. Also, it's called the RV Dummy. If you do a search on Facebook for the RV Dummy, I try to get notifications out on there as well. But again, Facebook, I'm at the mercy of Facebook's algorithm, and they generally it's very difficult, but it's a cool place to hang as well. And the more people I have there hanging, the better as well. So, having said all of that, I wanted to share. What else do I want to share with you? Okay, I've got a few great things. Now, hey, Jim the Dude is here. Yeah, everybody say hello, dude, for Jim the Dude. Jim is the guy that remember Jim? He runs the BWI RV and boat storage place. That's where I used to keep my rig back when I was in Maryland. Now I'm in Salt Lake. I found another place. Of course, nothing can stand up to BWI storage outside of Baltimore at the BWI airport area. It's a great place. So, hey, dude, everybody's saying, hey, dude. Now, I want to share a couple things. First of all, right off the bat, I just watched a really good video by my friend Robert. He's on here. He is actually Roads of Life. You probably know him. You saw I did a video with him a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Robert is a really good guy. He's got a very small channel on YouTube. Now, he's not one of these guys that has like thousands of viewers. He keeps it very small, intentionally, maybe not intentionally, but it's fairly new and growing. But having said that, he just released a video within a very short time ago, maybe yesterday or maybe today. It just came out. And I watched it and I loved it. And I want to share this with you. So Robert's channel, Robert, if you're there, you can put a link to your channel if you like. Feel free to put a link. His channel is called Roads of Life. And the video he just put out today is called Value-Based Budgeting from the Business of Life. It was really, really good because, on my channel, I talk a lot about only buying an RV that you can afford. Don't go out on a limb and take loans out and borrow money to buy things that you can't necessarily afford. He did a really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I commented on it. I told him I think this might have been his best video to date. A really good video. He explains in just very, very simple, convincing terms why you need to live a life that is below your means, budget well. He's not saying don't spend money. He's not saying that, but budget and understand what you're spending money on, and don't get to the point where you're ready to retire and you've spent all your money and you don't have any money. It's a really good video, so please check it out. And if you he a small channel, but Robert, if you post your channel or post a link to your video here, my viewers would love to see that. I highly recommend his video. I told him offline, it just really resonated with me because what he's teaching is exactly what I believe in. It's my exact philosophy. So I've got to pimp his video a little bit. Now, having said that, I want to share, let's get back to RVs for a second, but a little segue. Those of you that know me fairly well, Nagalu says, Dave, that's for anything in life. We don't live cheaply, but frugally. Yes, that's a really, I like that. That's, money. Okay, you can do three things with money. You can spend it, you can save it or invest it. Same thing, save it, invest it, or you can give it away to charity, to family members, to whatever you want to do. Spend it, invest it, give it away. And it's really good to have a balance. Although Robert doesn't really talk about this in this video, maybe in a future video he will. But it's really good to have a very good balance of all three of those. In other words, I never recommend saving all your money and investing and being a miser and putting it all away and not enjoying your life. I never recommend that. But I do recommend having a really fine balance and knowing where your money is going. So as you age and as you get older and as you get to retirement, many of you are actually past retirement. So you'll have a nice nest egg and you'll be able to do anything you want. Those of you, those people that YOLO, you only live once, man. I'm going to spend all my money on this because you only live once. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, yeah, it sounds great, but what happens tomorrow when you spent all your money? You don't have any money. So please take a look at his video. Now, I want to share something with you. Does anybody know what this? I've got something in front of me. Does anybody know what this is right here? And by the way, I don't know if my friend Desmond is on yet or not, but I'm going to talk about Desmond in a couple seconds too. But does anybody know what this is? Ready? I have a feeling you do. This is real. I can touch and feel. Who knows what this is? This doesn't have anything to do with RVing yet, but it might. You know what this is? It's a Yes album. This is a real, back in the old days, it's right, Nugget Brain, it's an LP record. Back in the olden days, we actually had these things called records. Before we had CDs and cassettes and 8-track tapes and live streaming, we had these things called LP records. And this is how I grew up. I grew up on these LP records, and it was my life. And whenever I would buy a record, I would immerse myself in the culture. Like, I would not only put it on my turntable and play it, but I would lay in my bed and study and read what's in the jacket and really know every song. They've got song, and I would really immerse myself into this. But then all that went away because CDs were like about this big, and now we live stream, and we really don't really sit down and play many albums. But so recently I got back. I sold my turntable many years ago, but recently I got back into LPs because I kept my collection. Like, in some back storage room, I kept my whole collection, or most of it. Some of it got ruined in a flood. But I found now that when I play an album, when I put an album on the turntable and I hear like the little scratches or hisses or imperfections, it brings me back to my childhood and my youth, and I remember everything that took place. I remember my life, and it's so cool. And so I've been thinking, should I somehow install a turntable in my rig, in my van? Should I put a turntable in my van? And it's not easy to do because I've got a Class B. It's small enough as it is, and Yoko and I and Boo Boo, we kind of, don't have a tremendous amount of room. And like I've said before, I use the phrase, we kind of dance around each other. Sometimes we want to pass, so there's not a tremendous amount of room. But I was thinking getting like a small compact turntable and bringing a few albums whenever we take a trip. And just when we get to camp, or we're sleeping, or stop driving, and put on an album and just play an album in the rig and listen to it. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. So I want to do it, but again, I'm a little bit hesitant because I just don't really know if I have the space. But I am looking into that. Now I'm going to show you another album. First person that identifies this album. It's also one of my favorites from back in the day. Now I love the Beatles, and I've got, like, of course, all Beatle albums, and Jethro Tull and Led Zeppelin and Moody Blues. But this is one of my. It's a cool album cover. I want to see if any of you know who this is. So the first person that types in the name of this album wins. What do you win? I'm not sure what you're going to win. You're going to win something, but I'm not sure what it is yet. It'll be, even if it's like a hug from me, I'm not sure. But let's see who can get this. The name of this album. I just have to have this by my turntable as I was playing it last night. So you ready? What's the name of this album? And it's one of the original 3D covers. If you look at it like in different lights and different angles. Who knows what this is? Anybody know what this is? I'm waiting for somebody to type this in. I'd be very surprised if none of you get this. I'd be disappointed and surprised. No. Anybody know what this is? Yes, Rolling Stones is true. It is. Robert is by the Rolling Stones. That's exactly right. What's the name of the album? The Magic. Well, you're a little bit close. The word is not but you're thinking of Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, maybe. Came out after Sgt. Pepper. Well, yeah, but Sgt. Pepper was by the Beatles. We're comparing apples to oranges here. Sgt. Pepper was by the Beatles. But you are correct. It came out. This was like the Rolling Stones' answer to Sgt. Pepper. That's exactly right. No, Nagaloo, it's not. Magical Mystery Tour was by the Beatles. No, sorry. Magic School Bus. No, that was kind of by the Who. Kind of. But not exactly. Okay, this album is called, are you ready? It's by the Rolling Stones. That's exactly right. It's called Their Satanic Majesty's Request. Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And one of my favorite songs ever by the Rolling Stones happens to be on this album. It's called She's a Rainbow. She's a Rainbow. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. If you can even stream it somehow and play it. She's a Rainbow by the Rolling Stones. It's a really, really, really great song that takes me back to the day. That's why I love albums so much, because they just really put you where you used to be. It's just they're really well. Now I want to share some. Okay, well, yeah, you'll still get a hug, Robert. Yeah, you won. You'll get it. You're the closest, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. I want to share something else with you guys. You know that many of you know Yoko, my wife. She travels with me everywhere we go in the RV, along with our RV Butterfly. You'll get a hug too. You will, because I think I have a feeling I'd prefer to hug RV Butterfly. I think it was 67 or 68. You're right, Robert. You're right. One of the 67. Sergeant Pepper came out 67. So this was either 67 or 68. So Yoko is Japanese. We recently, meaning last year, took a trip to Japan. And one of the things I don't really buy a lot of things because I'm very minimalistic these days. But one of the things I bought and I love are these prayer beads. I got them actually in a temple in Japan. And I don't really, I use them for meditation sometimes. I don't really use them to count or anything, but I just put them on and they give me, I feel they give me like really, really unbelievably great energy. And I will always travel with these. So I keep them kind of in this beautiful box that I got from the temple in Japan, just keep in this box. And whenever we travel, I will always either wear them or even put them in my suitcase or put them in my van if we're in the van. And I will always bring them with me to travel with you, because I just somehow I feel really good energy from these things. I feel great, and I've been doing ever since I bought them. And they brought me, I think, good luck. We had them in Maui when we were just in Maui a short time ago. I carry them everywhere. So, and as you can see, I've worn beads on my wrist for quite some time. I've got a friend in New York that makes these beads. His name is Desmond. And he's made a bunch of beads for me over the years. And this is what I'm wearing now. This is what I usually wear. However, I want to reveal something. And this does have something to do with RV, so bear with me. A short time ago, and Desmond was actually on one of my live broadcasts a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's here today actually or not. I told him I was doing this. But a short time ago, I wrote to Desmond and asked him if he could make me a set of beads for my wrist that would really be great for RVing. It would be just special for RVing, and it would give me really good energy and good luck whenever I RV. And he thought about it, and he sent me a couple ideas, and I said, I like that one. And they arrived in the mail not all that long ago, and I want to go ahead and unbox these in front of you and share with you what's exactly in this package. First of all, it comes with the little thing that says caring for your bracelet. I like that. I like the way he packs this stuff up. But inside this little beautiful velvet case is a beaded bracelet that Desmond made for me, especially for RVing. I told him I want something that while I'm on the road, especially, I want to wear this. And he put it together for me. And I can't remember. I wish he were on the broadcast today, because he put it together for me. And there's something about these stones that mean a lot. So I'm going to take these off. The ones I have on, I want to take these off. And for the first time, I want to reveal the brand new beads that Desmond just made for me, especially for RVing. And I'm going to, they feel good already. The color is beautiful. And I'm going to start wearing these now. And I believe they're going to bring me really good luck and good energy. So I just want to share these with you. I'm like a really, I'm not what you call a very religious person these days, but I'm very, very spiritual. And I believe there's things out there that are powerful, the universe, etc. So whatever you believe in, it doesn't really matter. But I think we all need to carry, we all need to have somebody looking after us, or somehow some higher power looking after us. And I believe in some way or another, these beads are going to bring a lot of good things to me. So I'll share these with you over time, how they do. But I just wanted to unwrap this in real time as I showed you. Nagalu says, my prayer beads broke, so I made them into a wrist bracelet using some elastic threading. Cool, Nagalu, very, very cool. And Nagalu, I don't know if when you were in Japan, if you ever stopped at any of the temples or shrines, and they're just beautiful, beautiful places in Japan. They're really, really powerful, and that's But one of the things that really got me into wearing beads, and thanks RV Butterfly. Yeah, I really, really love these, and I'm gonna get some good energy from all you and from these beads, I'm quite sure. And I love the way he packages these. He puts index cards, not index, business cards in with it. Just Des is a really good guy, a friend of mine. He lives in Queens, New York, and just got a very small little bead business. And I just like giving him the business too, because he's just a really, really, just one of those guys who's got just tremendous positive energy. So more on these later at some point. Let's see, I talked to you about Robert's video, Roads of Life video. I talked to you about that. I love the temple, especially at Fujiyama. I don't know if Fujiyama. Now, Yoko and I actually hiked to the top of Fujisan. I'm not sure if that's in the same area, Fujiyama. I'm not sure, Nagaru. Anyway, what I wanted to do is, first of all, if you guys have any questions, or if you have a question right now, please feel free to write it down. I'll see if I can answer any of your questions. But one thing I'm going to be doing over the next few days or so, I'm going to have a local RV tech come out to where my rig is right here in my home. Now, right now, I found a storage place being stored, but I'm going to be bringing it out back to my home shortly. And about one halfway up Mount Fuji, I've probably been there then. Not going to. I probably have been there. Very, very cool. I'm going to have an RV tech. His name is Doug. He seems like a great guy. If we can work this out, he's going to come and he's going to winterize my RV right in front of me, show me exactly, because I'm the RV dummy. I don't know exactly, and I don't want to make any mistake, because I make a mistake winterizing. We're talking about pipes that could burst and big messes and big money. So I'm going to have him come out and winterize it and show me exactly what to do. And at the same time, I'm going to video as he's doing it. Every step, every little thing he does to winterize, it shouldn't be all that difficult and it shouldn't take all that long. And I'm going to try to make it into a video that I can actually broadcast if he gives me permission to do that, so I can share with you guys steps from start to finish. And I know Mark Weiner, who's not on the broadcast today, Mark Weiner is very interested in this as well. So I think it could help some of you guys do this on your own as opposed to paying somebody to winterize. Because when you pay somebody to winterize your rig, it costs upwards of $200 a shot. And then same thing with de-winterizing. Excuse me. So I really want to be more proficient doing this on my own. So that's my plan. Ryan's mom says, "Hey there, Dr. Dave and Fred." Hey, Ryan's mom, how did I possibly miss that? So sometimes the things scroll fast and I don't get to everything. So I appreciate you being here, Ryan's mom, and not only you, but everybody that is on the live stream and watching it as a replay. And again, remember, my VIPs that are here, they're here because they went ahead and gave me they sent a text message to 801-893-3810. They sent a text message and said VIP, and now they're on the VIP list and they get notifications every time I plan to do a live stream or update the time and date that I'm going to do a live stream. So the VIPs are like the first ones to know about it. And maybe the only, because the other way to find out about it is through notifications, but sometimes YouTube is very slow on the uptake of notifications. But I'm going to get a bunch of people that end up watching this live stream, the playback, the recorded version of it, which is good, but you won't be able to interact. So it's fun. It's really fun interacting with my people here. Okay, now, any questions? I'm here to take any questions you might have, anything, whether it's RVing or otherwise. I'm here for you right now. Feel free to ask me anything you want. Any questions? I'll stand by and take a sip of water while we're waiting. Waiting for the first question. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got here. And I don't think Robert Roads of Life ever put his link in there. I really want you to go to that show, Roads of Life. Again, it's called Value-Based Budgeting from the Business of Life. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Look up, I sent you one. Robert sent one. Let's see if I can scroll up. Oh, I have a question. When you got your RV, you had a tech look at it before you bought it, right? Did you find any other issues after you bought it? Okay, great question. So, Robert, I'm going to talk about the second RV I got because that's the one I'm using right now. That's the one Yoko and I found online in Toledo, Ohio. We flew to Toledo, actually Detroit, drove to Toledo. By that time, I was already over a year into RVing, and I did not hire a tech. Yoko and I looked over everything. Now, were we experts? No, but I knew enough about RVing to look over everything and also to ask really good questions to the guy who was selling it and his wife. And you also have to evaluate to see whether you think the person you're buying it from or potentially buying it from is above board. I mean, if the guy seemed like a rip-off artist, if he seemed like he was going to try to scam me or sell me something that wasn't good, then I would not have believed what he said. But he seemed like a really good guy, ethical. He took great care of this rig. He had all the records, and I trusted what he said. So that goes a long way, as opposed to buying from, I'm not saying buying from a used from a dealer is bad, but a lot of times the dealer who gets a used RV in will really not know all that much about it, and they might start making things up. So that's why I really like buying directly from the owner. He was an older man, again, took great care of it. I asked him all the questions I needed to. He didn't rush me. It took my time. We drove it over all different types of roads and terrain and different conditions. And after a few hours of doing all that, I figured this was for me. Now, the second part, did we discover any issues after we bought it? The short answer is no. It was really in great shape. Now, I'd be lying if I said it never needed anything because I updated the audio system. We did some things to it, but it was in really good shape, and I could have actually used it as it was without really upgrading. Or I did some upgrading, but I could have used it as it was. But no, we had no serious issues. I mean, regular maintenance things, of course, they always come up, which leads me to another point. If you are buying an RV, make sure, and I can't remember who I talked to about this, whether it was Robert or Mark Weiner. It might have been Mark Weiner on this one, who's unfortunately not on the show today. But you have to budget for things that are going to come up, whether you want to do some upgrades, whether things are going to break down, you need repairs. You're always going to need money, funds to do things that are going to be required in your RV. So if you're spending your last dollar on an RV and you think that that's going to be the end, it's not the end. It's expensive to maintain and to store and to winterize and do everything. So please understand that. So great question, Robert. I hope I answered that succinctly without being too loquacious, if you know what I'm saying. Let's see, any other questions here? Roads of Lake running, also connection may fail. Okay, so Robert, sayonara. I mean, I shouldn't say sayonara. That's more of a final. So I say matane, which means loosely, see you soon. Any other questions? Any other questions before I run off today? I've got a little time for you guys. So if you have any questions, I'm here for you. And again, I want to say hello to anybody that's watching the replay of this, because next time you can be watching it live with us and you can interact and ask questions and interact with my whole little group. Our whole little group here. Nagalu, got a question. When dealing with tires, what load range rating does your RV have? It's a great question, Nagalu, and I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I got to check into that. I do know that my tires still are the ones that the guy that I bought it from, because they were brand new when I bought it from him. He had just put new tires on. But yeah, you have to make sure that the rating is for your type of rig. It's because these things are really, really heavy, and they're not like car tires at all. And you got to put a lot more air pressure into them also than car tires. So make sure you check before you buy tires. Make sure you check with your mechanic. If you're getting them from Mr. Tire online, make sure you're checking all the stats, the specs, and everything should be in your written in your rig and your manual. You should know that stuff. But a place like Tire Rack, not Mr. Tire, Tire Rack. Tire Rack is where I get my tires. And by the way, I buy my tires online from Tire Rack and have them shipped to a local tire dealer or mechanic, and they put them on locally for me. So, and I do end up saving quite a bit of money when I buy from Tire Rack online, and they're very helpful. Except one time I got this guy that was not very helpful at all. But generally, the people that answer the phone are very, very helpful. Order them, get them shipped locally, have them put on, balanced, all that stuff. It really has worked very well for me over the years. Roads of Life is back. His connection is back. Any more questions? I hope I answered that kind of half-ass again. Remember, I'm the RV dummy. I don't know everything, but I do try my best. But yeah, it's very important to get tires that are rated correctly for your rig, and they're all different. They're all different. Who else has something? Who else has a question? Come on, come on. Trying to think of anything in my bag of tricks here. Oh, Roads of Life, Robert. By the way, he made a comment. I was cracking up. I was actually laughing out loud in his latest video, which is called the value-based budgeting. He was talking about spending money unnecessarily, and you don't need. Sometimes you just don't need things. And he made a comment that, yeah, I mean, you don't need to spend money on the latest and greatest iPhone or phone that has 3 lenses on. I mean, you don't need 3 lenses on a phone. That's ridiculous. Who in the heck needs 3 lenses on a phone? It's crazy. It's stupid. Don't buy phones with 3 lenses. The bottom line is you can do it. You can do it if you have the money to do it, but don't spend your last dollar on that. That's crazy. But Robert, when I was watching your video, I was cracking up with it. You don't need 3 lenses. It's generally true. I just happen to have an older iPhone, an old one that I just retired, and I had to buy the new iPhone. Was it 11? 11. But by the way, I do love it. It's not cheap, but I love it. It's got so many really cool features that it's so much better than the 7. Let's see what else you got here. Mine is a 6. Well, they're going to be, yeah. I respect that. I mean, if you look, I respect keeping something that works for a long time. Like I said, I've got my car. My car happens to be a Volvo XC90. It's a 2005 with 140,000 miles plus on that, and I just love it. I've got no reason to sell it, to trade it in and get a new vehicle. There's no reason to do it. And yeah, it takes some maintenance. It definitely takes some maintenance. But I just comfortable with it. It's a safe vehicle. We love it. So no reason to get rid of that. So there. Magalu is making coffee. I've got a coffee cup in front of me too, drinking a little bit of black coffee along with my water. Okay, now, RV Butterfly, seriously, the joy of road. Okay, they're having like a little interaction there. Hot Mess Missy and RV Butterfly are like interacting there. I love it when people interact on my show because it means we're like one big family, and that's what I'm trying to get together. Again, I don't have the largest channel on YouTube. By the way, thank you to so many of you who tell me that they love interacting with me, that I'm real, because I am real. See, I'm definitely real. That hurt. But I still have to deal with some of the trolls every week, almost every day. It's fine. I mean, these people are just low life people. That I had somebody that came on a few days ago, and she was really giving me a hard time from last video I did about just being careful. I never called a group of people low lifes or anything like that, but I just said be careful if you're going to a campground. And the campground primarily is there to house homeless people that have old RVs and they're homeless and they're just, you probably want to at least know that. But this girl came on there and she was like calling me an elitist, and she told me that it's white privilege and all kinds of racial things like that. It was just a hot mess. It was just ridiculous. And I really, on the one hand, trolls don't bother me. Like I said, I've done stand-up comedy at comedy clubs on a stage, and that's very difficult, and you get hecklers, and that's difficult stuff. So being on camera and being on a stage and having people not like what I do, it's par for the course. I mean, it goes with everything. So I understand that. But to call me like a racist, to say that I'm white privileged, to start using like skin color as like a reason why we either achieve something or haven't achieved something, and she kept going on and on. I wouldn't even dare read some of the things she said to me. It was just god awful. But it just, these are the things you have to deal with. You have a YouTube channel, and Robert, you'll see, maybe as yours grows more and more, you'll see you've got to deal with some real crazy. So I thank you, those of you that are here and those on my VIP list. I mean, I feel like a really nice family with you guys, and I'm not including you when I say there's some wackos out there, but I do have to deal with trolls almost on a daily basis, almost. I got a funny one. Maybe I can read it for you. Let's see if I can just find it real quickly. This guy, I mean, these people, they also, some of them come on and they try to like pretend they're trying to help me. Okay, so this guy came on and said just this morning, I think, his name is Hackberry Flat. And he says, Boo Boo, I must have been talking about Boo Boo in one of my videos. He says, Boo Boo, get to the point. You can inform us of all the data in 3 minutes. Not trying to alienate, but chatty is not interesting. Well, I pretty much told him to take a hike that here's my answer to him. I said, in a nice way, I think I said, hey, you likely need to move on then. My viewers want a little bit of personality too. If you want someone reading bulleted points from an index card, I am not for you. I am not for you. If you just want me to come on and read a list and get out of there, then I'm not for you. Yeah, I do talk, but I've got a little bit, maybe not a lot, but I've got a little bit of personality, and that's what people that are part of the RV Dummy channel, they want a little bit of personality. They want part of their day just to be fun and maybe spend it with somebody they don't know. Like, you don't know me personally, maybe. You've never maybe give me a hug or shake my hand in real life, but you know me well enough now that I think I'm your friend. I hope you think I'm your friend, because I am your friend, and we're family here, and we have fun. And so I don't just come online and say, okay, 3 reasons. No, I don't do that. Oh my God, the things you have to deal with. It's crazy out there. It's crazy. Jim the dude says, what's the longest drive time you spent with your RV? Being a truck driver, I'm limited to 11 hours per day. Jim, great question. I wouldn't even get close to 11 hours. Yoko and I, when we're on the road trying to make distance, we still want to have fun every single day. And these days, generally the longest we will do, and I'm talking about like Google Maps time. So in other words, you go on, you see how long is it going to take to get to point B from point A. Google Maps says 5 hours and 32 minutes. I'm making this up. 5 hours and 32 minutes. That's probably about the longest we'll do, between 5 and 6 hours of Google Maps time. That means it takes a lot longer because we stop and get, for eating and browsing truck stops. Truck stops are some of the places that Yoko loves to do clothes shopping. She loves the clothes they sell at truck stops, which I think is so cool. It says a lot about us because we don't have to be going to Nordstrom to buy our clothes. It's so cool. So between 5 and 6 hours, Google Maps time is like about the max we would do. Jim, great question. And I respect those truck drivers that can do 10, 11 hours in a day. I just get too tired. I can't do that. I want to be safe when I'm driving. Let's see, what else do we have? RV Butterfly, thanks a lot. Yeah, if you haven't given me a thumbs up on this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're watching the recording at a later time, it helps the channel, and our cat Boo Boo gets to eat another meal. For everybody that gives a thumbs up, he gets to eat a little bit. So that helps him too as well. Thank you very much. Let's see. Chris says, I got my rig back yesterday. The slide out needed fixed, generator maintenance, and several other things. It took 2 months. 2 months! 2 months to have your rig in the shop? That sounds... Here's what I would do if you could. Look for a local RV tech that's a mobile RV tech, and they'll come to you, and they'll get the job done quickly. And if they can't, if they need to order parts, they'll come back. But I found that mobile RV techs are great. Also, where I'm storing my RV right now in Salt Lake City, they've got RV techs on premises right there that get the job done. So I just don't know what I'd want to wait 2 months. 2 months to have something fixed is just, it's too long. You have your rig in the shop for 2 months. But I'm glad you got it done. I hope it's all working right now, Chris. Nagalu says, I've got some field mice that Boo Boo can have for dinner. Oh, God. RV Butterfly, aren't the truck stops fun? I mean, when you're really pressed for time and you got to like keep the pedal to the metal and head down the road and really log the miles, it's not as much fun as if you're not driving as many miles in a day, but you look around, you smell the coffee, you stop at the truck stops, maybe you talk to some of the truckers and thank them for what they're doing. Hey, but if it was not for the truckers on the road, we would not have all the products that we have right in front of us right now. So we're not for the truckers. So let's give a salute to the truckers. And by the way, when we're thanking people, I want to thank anybody that's been in the service or in the service or serving as a policeman, firefighter, paramedic. You know what I'm talking about. Any of these people, I have such respect for these people that help us every single day, keeping us with our freedom and also our health and protection and everything. I have a tremendous amount of respect for these people that oftentimes don't really get the thanks and the respect that they deserve. So if you're one of those people or more, I salute you and thank you very much for that. But truck stops are fun, and yeah, they've got. I don't really eat much of the food there because usually it's junk, and Yoko and I try to eat very, very healthy food. But looking around, and I'm one of those guys. I still love, as you can tell, I love tech stuff, and I love looking around, even like the cables. Just if they're selling like something like this, like the lightning cables. I just love looking at stuff like that. It's fun for me. So just taking the time to go into the truck stops and look around instead of rush. It's just fun for me. Let's see. Chris says, I was livid. I called corporate, tried a mobile tech once. He charged me $150 for a visit and still, that's a shame. Yeah, Chris, I don't know what to say. I mean, find yourself a really good mechanic, a really good tech, and hopefully stick with that person or that company. But it's tough out there, especially RVing is getting more and more popular, and the mechanics, the techs are getting busier and busier. And yeah, back in Baltimore, I had a place that I was using, and sometimes I tried to make an appointment, and they could not get me in for sometimes 2 months in the busy season. So I know exactly what you're saying. It's tough. The RV techs, the ones that are mobile, are usually good, not all, but look at the reviews. Just and talk to other RVers around. If we can set up a little network and maybe tell you who's good in some of the cities, I'd be very happy to do that as well. Chris said, where are you going next? I have to travel back to Virginia in December. Well, actually, Yoko and I are going to be driving to San Francisco, the Bay Area, very soon to visit our son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter. Still, I'm not sure. We might be just taking the car since it's going to be a quick trip. We might be just driving and not taking the RV there. I'm not sure yet, but very likely the car instead of the RV that time. And I'm doing a real quick trip back east for some speaking, actually later this week, Wednesday through Saturday. I'll be in Detroit first, then in the Baltimore, Maryland area. I've got some speaking gigs and some classes I'm running, things like that. So it's a real quick trip back east. Then, of course, back where I am right now, back to our home base of Salt Lake City, which is the best decision we've ever made in our lives, living in Salt Lake City. We love every day. And right now, I wish I could show you outside. Up on the mountains, there's already a decent amount of snow. Not right in Salt Lake itself, but right as you can see the mountains surrounding Salt Lake. We've got snow already, and it's, what is it, October 20th. It's beautiful. We love it here. Every day is a dream come true. We absolutely love it. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Guys, anything else before I leave you today? I really appreciate you taking your time. It has not been proven that Sunday afternoon in the middle of the day is a great time to do this, but it looks like I have a bunch of you guys on here, which is great. I'm going to try my best to go back to Sunday evenings next Sunday if I possibly can. So I'm planning on next Sunday going back to the regular schedule of 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain. That's where I am, 8 p.m. Mountain, and 7 p.m. That would be Pacific time. And if you're somewhere else on the planet, you've got to do the math. I can't tell you. Let's see. Chris, thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate that. You take pictures as well. How did the visit with Yoko's parents? Okay, so real quickly, great question. We spent the last week, excuse me, in Maui, Hawaii, with Yoko's parents. First time I'd ever been on Maui. We've been to Oahu before, which is, of course, where Honolulu is, the big city. Maui was not only beautiful, felt great energy there. They've got not only the ocean, of course, but beautiful mountains. It is a magical place to be. I would highly recommend if you can get to Maui. But the visit with her parents, they came from Japan. We came from the lower, the 48 states, and we converged on Maui. And it was just beautiful. We ended up, Yoko's dad had recently had two knees replaced along with one hip. And his goal was to complete the Maui 5K, which we all did together. We ran, we walked it mostly, but you know, he's 76, he just turned 76, couldn't run it, but we all walked it. It was beautiful. We just had a great time. It's spending time with people that you love, people with positive energy is really fantastic. So thanks for asking that, Nagalu. It was just awesome. I've never been to Kauai, Chris. I'd love to go there. We were actually going to sign up for a run on Kauai. We just never got to do it, but we'll get there someday. I just love Hawaii, and there's a reason for us to go to Hawaii, just because again, it's the halfway point between where we are in the U.S. and where Yoko's parents are in Japan. It's kind of the halfway point, so it's relatively easy for us all to meet in Hawaii. Which again, the cost of living there, you're going to pay a lot more for food and for things there. It's an island or islands, and things have to be shipped there. So it's definitely more expensive, but it really is. You can still do it on the cheap if you really try, but it's just an awesome place. If you haven't been, highly recommend it. And by the way, I was looking around for RVs on Maui. I didn't see any RVs. The closest I saw were some vans that were kind of rigged up that maybe they could sleep in, but there were no true RVs that we actually saw. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any at all, but it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense because, first of all, they'd have to have it shipped there. And then once the RV is there, they're not really like true RV campgrounds and things like that. So we didn't see any true RVs. It would have been fun to have seen some. It's just as expensive in Key West. I haven't been to Key West in a long time, but I didn't realize Key West was that expensive, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it. It's been close to 2 hours now, but the time flies when I'm hanging with you all. It's been fun. Remember, if you have not signed up to be a VIP yet, do so, because I'm going to keep you informed. Just text me a message that says VIP to that number. I'll keep it up for another second. And the VIPs do get notifications before anybody else. And if there's a change in time, the only way you'll really know about a change in time is if you're a VIP, because there's just no way to get another message out to somebody like in real time that quickly. So it pays to be a VIP. Oh, it's free. Doesn't cost anything. I think that's it. I was surprised to see the RV geeks in Tuscany. That's pretty cool. Very cool. Thanks so much, Nagalu. Nagalu, it was great to see you here. Great that you're here. I'm glad that finally you're getting my messages, Nagalu, and you're on the VIP list. So it's really great to have you hanging out with us here. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you, all of you, RV Butterfly, Chris. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Jim the Dude. We had Rob. We had, let's see, we got a bunch of you. I've got to scroll all the way up. Of course, John Elliott was here. Benson's Speed Shop, Hot Mess, Missy. So many of you, more names than I probably can get to here. But if I didn't mention your name, you know that, I had to scroll all the way up. You know that I still love you. You know I do. And we'll see you on a future live broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. Make every day a really super day. I will talk to you all very soon. Oh, by the way, one more thing. My video coming out on Tuesday. Remember, every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. 9 a.m. Eastern time, Tuesday. You're going to like it. I think you're really going to like it. It's very different than anything I've done. I don't think anybody's ever done one like this. At least not that I've seen. It was my idea. I came up with it when I was on Maui. Just kind of came to my brain, and I figured, let's just do it. So I think you're going to really like it. Enjoy. See you later. Peace to you. Thanks for spending time with us all, our RV family, the RV Dummy family. See you later.